Logan's body was sore. His ship had crashed 2 days ago on a strange planet after taking heavy damage during a fight in space. I tried to fix it, but the engine was dead and the air filters were broken. Worse, his leg had a deep cut, and his left shoulder was dislocated. Pain followed him every step, but he didn't stop. He had to survive. The planet was rich and green, with glowing plants and strange tall trees. He hadn't seen anyone for 2 days. Then, on the third day, a group of tall, armored aliens surrounded him in the forest. They had long limbs, shiny purple eyes, and golden armor that made them look royal. Logan raised his hands to show he meant no harm, but they pointed strange weapons at him and spoke in a language he didn't understand. He passed out before he could say anything else. When Logan woke up, he was inside a clean, smooth room with walls made of crystal-like stone. A soft light glowed above him. His leg had been bandaged. His shoulder was placed back. Someone had helped him. But when he looked to the side, he saw the tall aliens standing guard. Their faces were hard. No kindness. A few hours later, he was brought into a large hall filled with alien nobles. They sat on floating chairs, their clothes bright and filled with symbols.
Ow.
One of them stood out. A tall alien male with silver robes and a ringed crown. This was Lord Thraven, ruler of the Veltherian province. Beside him sat a calm, graceful female with golden eyes and a silver robe, Lady Solera, his wife. "This is the human?" Lord Thraven said with a smirk, the translator on his collar humming. "Yes, my lord." "Crash landed beyond the West Ridge," said one of the guards. "He looks ... soft." "Weak." Thraven laughed, and some others joined him. "Tell me, human, do you know where you are?" Logan nodded slowly. "I know I'm not on Earth anymore." Thraven raised a brow. "Clever tongue. But not clever enough to survive our trials." "I didn't come to fight anyone," Logan said. "I just want to fix my ship and leave." "Ah, but you've landed during festival season," Thraven replied. "You're the perfect little guest for tonight's entertainment." Before Logan could protest, 2 guards pulled him away. Lady Solera watched silently, her eyes not cold like the others. Her fingers were clenched on the chair's armrest. But she said nothing. Later that evening, Logan found himself in a massive arena. Tall walls surrounded him, and thousands of aliens watched from above, cheering and pointing. In front of him stood a large, 4-armed creature covered in blue armor. It roared and slammed its fists together. "This is wrong," Logan whispered, his heart racing. A voice echoed from the arena's loudspeakers. "A human against the Gorok challenger. Place your bets." Up in the noble booth, Lord Thraven laughed. Loudly, "This will be over in a minute." But it wasn't. As the fight started, the Gorok charged forward. Logan barely rolled out of the way. His body screamed in pain, but his mind stayed sharp. Years of training kicked in. He didn't try. To match the beast's strength, he used speed, agility, and brain. He ran, dodged, and led the beast into crashing against a wall. The crowd gasped. "He's fast," someone said. The Gorok tried again, swinging its fists. Logan ducked and grabbed a broken pole from the ground. When the beast charged again, he jammed it between 2 pieces of armor. The Gorok fell, struggling. To move, the crowd went silent, then cheers. Confused, mixed cheers. Logan stood, breathing hard, covered in dirt and blood. Lord Thraven's smile had vanished. "How?" Lady Solera leaned forward, her voice quiet. He used his mind. That night, Logan was allowed food and rest. But he knew it wasn't kindness. It was part of a game. He had become something they wanted to watch suffer more. In the morning, Thraven made a loud announcement. "Since our human visitor has proven to be more entertaining than expected, I make a new challenge." The crowd leaned in. Solera stood up slowly, sensing something wrong. "If the human survives the grand trial, I will give my own wife to the victor." A loud cheer broke out. But Solara's eyes widened. She looked at her husband, shocked. "You will what?" she asked softly, in their own tongue. "It's just a game," Thraven said, smiling cruelly. "He will not win. You know this." Logan didn't understand the words, but he saw her face. He turned to the guard next to him. "What did he say?" The guard, One of the kinder ones leaned in and whispered, "Hey," he bet his wife. "If you win the grand trial, she becomes your prize." Logan's heart sank. That's not a prize. A person. That night, Lady Solera came to him in secret. She entered his chamber, quiet and calm. "I'm sorry," she said. "This is not your fight, but you're caught in it." "I don't want to be part of some twisted game," Logan said. "I know," she replied, "but if you win, you can end it. My husband has ruled with cruelty for years. He thinks no one can beat him. He uses people like toys." Logan stared. "At her? And you want me to fix that? I want you to survive. And in doing so, show them what honor looks like." Logan thought for a long time. His body hurt. His mind was tired. But something in her voice, her calm strength, sparked a fire inside him. "I'll do it," he said, "not for the prize, but because no one should be treated this way." She nodded, then placed her hand over his heart. "Then you are not just a human. You are hope." And outside, the alien world waited to see a man they thought was broken. The sun on Veltharus rose with a pale green glow. Its light spread slowly across the city of glass towers and golden domes. The people were already talking about the human. They whispered in the markets, laughed in the arenas, and placed their bets. Some thought he was lucky. Others believed he had hidden strength. But most just waited to see him fail in the next challenge. Logan sat alone in the stone training chamber. His wounds still hurt, but he had been given basic medicine. His leg could move again. His arm was wrapped tightly. He held a wooden staff in his hands and practiced the same moves over and over again. Spin, block, strike, duck. Even if his body was slow, his mind stayed sharp. He was not training to win a game. He was training to survive. Outside the chamber, 2 guards watched him in silence. One of them, a younger alien named Varric, spoke quietly. "He doesn't move like our warriors," Varric said. "Because he's not one," the older guard replied. "He fights like someone who's been through real war. You think he has a chance?" "No, but I hope he proves me wrong." Later that day, a tall figure entered the chamber. It was Lady Solera. She wore a simple cloak instead of her noble robes. Her expression was calm, but her steps were firm. Logan stopped his training and looked at her. "You shouldn't be here." "I had to come," she said softly. I brought you something." She held out a small round device. "This is a translator," she explained. "It will help you understand their language during the trial." "Thank you." "You," Logan said, taking the device. "Also, I brought a map of the arena and the list of creatures you may face." Logan's eyes widened. "Why are you helping me?" Solera looked down for a moment. "'Cause if you lose, he wins everything. And I lose more than just freedom." "You're risking your life by being here," Logan said. "I'm already living under his shadow. Helping you is the first real choice I've made in years." Logan took a deep breath. "Then I won't let you down." She gave him a small nod and turned to leave. "Train harder, human. The grand trial begins in 2 days." After she left, Logan opened the map. The arena was huge, with shifting walls, traps, and even small water pools. The creatures listed were terrifying giant spiders, armored beasts, and one called a bloodscale, a serpent with sharp fins and lightning-fast speed. He knew it wouldn't be just about fighting. It would be about thinking, moving, and staying alive. For the next 2 days, Logan trained from sunrise to night. Varric, the young guard, started helping him. Varric would throw rocks at him, make sudden moves, or shout warnings to test Logan's reflexes. "Why are you helping me?" Logan asked once. Varric shrugged. "Because I don't like Lord Thraven, and because I've never seen someone stand up to him before." On the night before the trial, Solera came one last time. "Tomorrow, everything changes," she said. "If I win," Logan added, "you will," she said quietly, her eyes steady. Logan looked down at his hands. They were bruised and shaking from the training. "I'm still scared." "Good," she replied. "Fear means you're alive. It keeps you sharp." He gave her a small smile. "Do Do you think your husband will keep his word? He will. The noble court will make sure of it. Once a bet is made in public, it must be honored. Outside, the arena lights glowed in the night, and the sound of cheering crowds could be heard even from the hills. The next morning came fast. Logan stood at the center of the grand arena, surrounded by thousands of spectators. The walls of the arena were moving, changing the shape of the battlefield. Traps clicked into place. The air smelled of metal and dust. Lord Thraven sat high above in his throne box, wearing a smug expression. "Welcome, honored guests," announced loudly. "Today, the human will face the grand trial. If he wins, he may claim his prize. If he loses, well, we will enjoy the show." The crowd cheered. Logan took a deep breath. His heart beat fast, but his mind was calm. The first challenge was announced. Survive the blade beaks. The gate opened, and 5 tall bird-like creatures with sharp metal feathers ran out. They moved fast, screeching and circling Logan. He dodged the first one, rolled under a second, and slammed his staff against the third. The crowd gasped as 2 of them hit each other mid-air. Logan used the confusion to trap one under a fallen gate bar. Within minutes, the creatures were either trapped or unconscious. The next challenge came quickly. The pit of fire. Logan was forced to jump across heated stones while dodging flame bursts from the walls. The heat burned his feet, but he moved carefully, using small metal plates as shields. He reached the other side coughing but alive. Challenge after challenge tested him both in body and in spirit. Faced illusions, cold traps, darkness, and even a storm room where lightning cracked across the ceiling. Each time, he pushed himself beyond what he thought he could do. Syl, Era, and Varric watched in silence, hearts pounding. Lord Thraven's face slowly began to twist from amusement to disbelief. Logan stood, breathing hard, waiting for the next announcement. A voice called out, "Final trial." The blood scale. A long gate opened. Silence fell. The serpent slid out. Its red skin shimmered. Its eyes locked on Logan. Logan picked up a long spear from the ground and whispered, "Let's finish this." The crowd rose to its feet, waiting to see a man fall, arise. The blood scale slid into the arena like a river of muscle and teeth. It was long, almost 15 feet, with smooth red scales that shimmered under the arena lights. Its mouth was wide, filled with curved fangs, and 2 glowing eyes locked onto Logan with cold hunger. It hissed once, and the sound echoed around the arena like a warning bell. Logan tightened his grip on the spear. His hands were trembling, his arms burned from the last trials, and his body was covered in dirt and bruises. But he stood firm. His mind stayed focused. From the noble box, Lord Thraven leaned forward with a cruel grin. "Now let's see the little human try to dance with death." Beside him, Solera watched in silence, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Varric stood at the edge of the viewing platform, holding his breath. The whole arena had gone quiet. Logan slowly circled the edge of the arena. The blood scale followed, head swaying, ready to strike. He remembered Solera's warning. Don't fight it like a warrior, fight it like a survivor. The blood scale suddenly lunged. Logan jumped to the side, barely missing its bite. The force of the creature hitting the stone floor cracked the tiles. Dust flew into the air. Logan rolled and came back to his feet, keeping the spear low. The creature hissed again, its tail whipping behind it. Logan had no armor, no shield, just one weapon and his tired body. The blood scale lunged again, but this time Logan stepped forward, surprising it. He stabbed with the spear butt. It bounced off the hard scales. "Useless, of course," he whispered, breathing fast. "The head and underbelly, that's where it's weak." He ran not away but toward the walls, weaving between the arena traps. The serpent chased him faster than anything he'd seen. Fire jets hissed from the floor, but Logan used them, leading the blood scale straight through one of them. The fire struck its back. The crowd gasped as the serpent screeched in pain. Smoke rose from its scorched scales. It paused, angry now. Logan turned, face serious. "Yeah, you felt that." Serpent charged in full rage. Logan ran again, but this time he led it toward the old broken spike trap from a previous trial. He jumped over it, landing roughly. The serpent didn't see the sharp metal pieces hidden under the dust. It slithered straight through. Sharp points. Dug into its sides, it roared. Logan didn't stop. He ran to the top of a small raised platform where an old rope trap still hung. Grabbing it, he swung down, landing on the creature's back, just behind its head. It twisted wildly, trying to throw him off. He used the spear knot to stab it to jam it between two neck plates, just enough to keep himself balanced. The serpent reared up. The crowd screamed. Solaris stood without meaning to. "Hold on," Varric whispered, with a roar of his own. Logan pulled himself closer to the serpent's head and used a shard of metal found from earlier to strike the soft spot behind its left eye. The blood scale shrieked. It thrashed once, then twice. It finally collapsed to the ground, shaking the entire arena. Logan fell beside it, chest rising and falling fast. He didn't get up. The silence was deafening. Then a voice echoed across the arena. "The human has completed the final trial." Cheers exploded. Not just polite applause, but real, loud cheering. Nobles, guards, commoners, people stood up in disbelief. In the noble box, Lord Thraven's mouth was open, his face twisted with rage and shock. He cheated, Thraven yelled. HFY turned to him, calm but firm. "He used your arena, your traps, your rules. This was not supposed to happen, but it did," she said. "And now you must keep your word." Below, healers rushed to Logan. They helped him sit up. His eyes were tired, but he was still conscious. Solera made her way down from the platform and entered the arena, her steps slow but proud. She reached Logan and looked him in the eyes. "You did it." "Barely," he whispered. She offered her hand, and he took it. The crowd quieted again, watching Lord Thraven stood at the edge of the box. "I demand the council void this match." But the council elders stood up. One of them spoke into the arena speaker. "Lord Thraven, you made the wager before the public court, the human one. You must honor the terms." Thraven clenched his fists. "You can't be serious," another elder replied. "If you refuse, you will be stripped of your title." Logan looked at Solera. "I don't want to own anyone. This isn't about a prize," she nodded. "And don't claim a person." "A truth." He turned back to the crowd. "I don't want her. I want change. I want your leader to face the rules he created. And I want you all to see that even someone small, broken, and alone can win." The arena went silent again. Then slowly one noble clapped, then another, and another. Within moments, the entire arena rose in applause. Lord Thraven was led away by the council guards. Solera watched as the man who once ruled her world was taken from power, his pride shattered. Logan sat down, finally letting himself rest. HFY turned to him. "What will you do now?" He smiled weakly. "First, sleep, then maybe fix my ship," she smiled back. "You won't be alone. You have friends now." And as the crowd continued to cheer, a new story began, one where strength was not just in muscle, but in heart. For the first time since his crash, Logan slept without pain. No alarms, no guards, no fire, just silence and peace. When he woke up, sunlight came through the crystal window, and the air smelled fresh. His body still ached, but his wounds had been carefully cleaned and treated during the night. He was now resting in a guest chamber inside the council palace. Everything was quiet, soft, and safe. It felt strange. A soft knock came at the door. Varric stepped in, smiling. "You survived the impossible." Logan smiled back. "Barely." "The council wants to see you," Varric said, "but not for another fight. They just want to talk." Logan nodded and slowly got out of bed. His legs still shook, but he could walk. Varric helped him dress in. A fresh robe, simple but clean hand, walked with him through the wide marble halls. As they reached the council room, Solera was already there, standing tall, her eyes calm. She gave Logan a warm nod. "He is ready," Solera said. The room was filled with alien elders, each dressed in robes with different colors showing their region and rank. One of them stood and spoke gently. "Human, you have done something no outsider has ever done. You entered our trials, won them, and upheld your honor." Logan shifted slightly. "I didn't do it to become a hero. I did it because you're noble. Tried to use me and her like pieces in a game." The council elder nodded. "And by doing so, you reminded us that power must serve justice, not pride." Solara stepped forward. "I speak today as more than a noble's wife. I speak as a citizen. I ask the council to not only punish Lord Thraven for his dishonor, but also to begin changes that protect all people, nobles and commoners alike." Whispers spread through the chamber. "We will consider it," the elder said. "But first, we must decide one more thing: what should become of you, Logan." The room went quiet again. Logan looked around. "I don't want wealth or land. I don't want to rule anyone. Just want to repair my ship and return home. But if I can help in some small way before I go, then let me." The elders looked at one another. Another elder said, "You may. Stay as long as you wish. We will give you resources to fix your ship and a place to rest. And if you choose to stay longer, you will always be welcome among us." Double quotes. Logan gave a small bow. "Thank you." After the meeting, Logan and Solara walked together through the palace garden. Sunlight passed through green glass flowers, casting soft lights on the path. "You could have asked for anything," Solara said. "I just wanted to do what's right," he answered. "You've already changed things more than you know. The people talk about you now, not as a strange outsider, but as a symbol of hope." Logan looked out at the city. "Do they really believe that?" She nodded. "You made them believe it." That evening, Logan was taken to the repair yard, where his ship had been brought. Though it was damaged, most of its systems could be fixed with the help of Velthurian tech. A team of engineers began helping him. One of them, a short alien with 4 arms named Kelron, tapped his shoulder. "You fought a bloodscale, huh?" "Yeah," Logan said, smiling. Kelrin grinned. "Then fixing this ship will be nothing for you." The team worked fast. Tools buzzed, energy fields sparked, and Logan spent hours inside the ship, fixing wires and adjusting controls. Solara visited each day, bringing news, and sometimes just sitting nearby in quiet support. Weeks passed. The council started new programs to give fair trials to the poor and limit noble power. Varric joined a group of new peacekeepers. Solara began helping lead a school for young leaders, teaching them about justice, truth, and the importance of listening. Logan's ship was almost ready. On the final day, as the twins' sun set over Valtheris, Solara and Logan stood on the launch platform. "So, this is goodbye?" she asked. "For now," he said, "but maybe not forever." She smiled. "I hope not." He looked at her, thoughtful. "Do you regret the bet your husband made?" She shook her head. "Not anymore. Because of it, I found freedom. And you found purpose." Logan stepped into his ship, paused at the door, and looked back one more time. "Thank you for everything." "Safe travels, Logan," she said softly. The engines came to life. The wind rushed across the platform as the ship lifted into the air. People watched from the city towers. The human who once fell from the sky was now rising toward the stars. And though he left Valtheris behind, his story would remain whispers of a broken man who stood against pride, won honor, and changed a world not with power, but with heart. Logan's ship broke through Valtheris' sky and entered the cold silence of space. Behind him, the green-blue planet grew smaller. He sat in the pilot's chair, looking back one last time. His body still carried the pain of the battles, but inside him, he felt calm. For once, he had done something greater than survival. He had helped bring change to a world not his own. "Coordinates set," ship's AI said softly. Logan looked at the controls. He was free to go anywhere now. Earth. A colony. A neutral station. But he didn't press the button. Not yet. His mind returned to Solara's words. "You found purpose." She had been right, but what was next? Before he could decide, a blinking signal appeared on the screen, an emergency distress call. Logan frowned. It was coming from the edge of Veltheris space. A cargo freighter was under attack. Of course, he muttered. He couldn't just leave. He turned the ship and flew toward the signal. As he arrived, he saw two small pirate ships firing at a large freighter. The freighter's shields were failing. Logan didn't have strong weapons, but he did have speed and experience. His hands moved fast across the controls. "Target the first pirate's engine," he said. A blast shot out and struck the ship's tail, spinning it off course. One down. The second pirate turned and charged at Logan's ship. He dodged, rolled, and dove behind the freighter's shadow, using its body for cover. The pirate couldn't lock on to him. Logan came up from below and sent a flash pulse directly into its sensors. The ship went blind, then turned and fled. The freighter sent a message, says Captain Viller of the freighter Shalana, who, "Are you just a human?" Logan answered. "Passing by, thank you. Without your help, we'd be lost." Logan smiled. "Stay safe. Maybe get a better escort next time." He turned off the comms and set a new course. Maybe Solera was right again, he thought. Maybe the galaxy needs more people who just do what's right, Evan, when no one's watching. As he flew, news from Veltheris began to spread. Through stations and ships, the story of the injured human who defeated the nobles' challenges was told again and again. Some said it was luck. Others believed it was training. Many believed in the heart behind it. On one trade station, a group of alien merchants listened to the tale and laughed. So the noble actually lost his wife in a bet. "No," another said, shaking his head. "The human didn't claim her. He gave her freedom. That's the real twist." On another planet, a group of students studied Velthurian politics. One young alien asked, "Why did no one ever stop Lord Thraven before?" His teacher replied, "Because no one believed they could, until the human showed them how." Even among soldiers and warriors, the story became a lesson. A Velthurian trainee whispered to his friend during a drill, "If one human could do all that, what are we afraid of?" Meanwhile, back on Veltheris, Solera walked through the council gardens, now blooming with new life. She met with young leaders, taught peaceful diplomacy, and worked closely with Varric, who had become a respected peacekeeper. The people had changed. Nobles no longer held unchecked power. Voices were being heard, and in the center of it all, the memory of a single human remained strong. But not everyone was happy. In a dark chamber far beyond the council walls, a group of former noble allies gathered. Among them sat a tall figure in a hood, one who had supported Thraven's rise. His name was Merix, and his voice was sharp like a blade. "This human has disturbed the balance," he said. "He embarrassed one of us, destroyed tradition, and the people cheer him." "They do," said another noble bitterly. "And worse, they look to Solera for leadership. Then she must fall too." Merix growled. The room went silent. "We must fix this. Restore control. Remind the galaxy that nobles rule not. Visitors from other stars." Plans were made. Secret messages sent. In deep space, Logan's ship picked up a strange signal. It wasn't a call for help, more like a warning. He decoded it slowly. Threat against Veltheris. His heart froze. He couldn't ignore it. Again, he turned the ship back. When Logan arrived, the skies above Veltheris were already glowing with red flashes. Explosions shook the outer towers. Several rogue ships had entered orbit, attacking the peaceful cities. Merix. Logan muttered, "It has to be him." He opened comms. "This is Logan. Where's Solera?" "She's helping evacuate civilians." At the council plaza, Varric's voice answered. "We're under attack from former noble fleets. I'm on my way." Logan's ship dove into the atmosphere, twisting between enemy fire. Below, smoke rose from the city. He landed near the plaza and ran through falling debris. People screamed. Guards fought bravely. The peace they had built now stood on the edge of ruin. He found Solera directing people toward shelters. "You came back," she said, surprised. "Couldn't leave things unfinished," Logan replied. A blast hit nearby. Both ducked behind a fallen wall. "Merix wants to bring back the old rule," Solera said. "He thinks strength comes from fear." "Then let's show him something stronger," Logan said. Together they fought. Logan used weapons from his ship, while Solera guided civilians. Varric arrived with a small team of peacekeepers, turning. The tide Mar Rex shingle quotes a ship hovered above the plaza, ready to deliver a final strike. Logan looked at the launcher on his wrist. Only one shot left. This better work. He fired directly into the engine core of the enemy ship. It exploded in the sky, lighting up the entire city. The battle was over. Valtheris was saved again, not by might, but by people standing together. Logan helped Solera to her feet. "You're all right, thanks to you?" "I think we make a good team," he said with a tired smile. "You think this is the end?" she asked. "I hope not," he said. "But whatever comes next, we face it together." And this time, he didn't fly away. He stayed. Because sometimes, a hero's journey doesn't end with escape. It begins with returning. The city of Valtheris was quiet again. Days had passed since the battle with Merrix's fleet. Smoke no longer filled the skies. The streets were calm. Children played in the gardens. Workers rebuilt fallen towers with help from peacekeepers and volunteers. Life had returned, but something had changed. Something deeper. People no longer looked at nobles with fear. They looked at them with questions. They expected answers. They expected fairness. And it all started with one human. Logan now walked through the city not as a stranger, not as a prisoner, but as a friend. People greeted him with smiles, small gifts, and kind words. Some even asked for his advice. At first it made him uncomfortable. He had never wanted fame. But now, he understood that his presence gave people hope. Not because he was special, but because he had stood up when others stayed quiet. He visited the new council hall often, where Solera now helped lead. She didn't take full power. She shared it with others' young voices, old leaders, and even former guards. Together, they created rules that protected every citizen, not just the rich. Logan watched her speak with calm strength. Once, she had been silent beside Thraven now. She spoke clearly and boldly. She no longer wore jewels or crowns. Her symbol was a simple silver pendant shaped like a balanced scale. One morning, as they stood together on the balcony of the council hall, Solera handed him a small data tablet. "What's this?" Logan asked. "The final repair plans for your ship," she said. "You can leave any time now." He looked down at the screen, then back at her. "Feels strange," he said. "I've been here longer than I planned." "You've done more than you planned to," she replied. They stood in silence for a moment. Then she added, "But your place is not here forever. Your world, your people, they may need you." "Yeah," he said quietly, "but part of me will stay here." She smiled gently. "And part of you will stay with us." Logan spent the next few days saying goodbye. Varric gave him a small charm carved from Veltherian crystal. Kelron, the engineer, gave him a tool set just in case. Others gave food, notes, or simple waves from their windows. On the final day, a small crowd gathered at the spaceport. His ship now shined like new, upgraded with Veltherian tech. It was faster, stronger, and had longer travel range. Logan stood at the open hatch. Solera stood beside him. "What will you do now?" she asked. "I don't know," he said. "Maybe help others the same way. Maybe warn people like Merrix not to try anything stupid." "Will you ever come back?" He smiled. "You might. Look up one day and see a ship landing. It'll be me needing a place to rest." Solera reached into her robe and handed him a small silver pendant, her own symbol of leadership. "Keep this," she said. "Not because you want to be a leader, but because you already are one." Logan took it gently and placed it around his neck. "Thank you," he said. They didn't say goodbye. They didn't need to. Some connections don't break with distance. The ship lifted off slowly. People waved from the ground. Solera stood with Varric and others, watching as the craft rose through the clouds in space. Logan looked down one last time at Velders. One planet changed, he thought. Maybe Morkin. As he flew through the stars, he began to hear stories being told across stations. The human who survived the noble's trial. They say he refused the prize and asked for justice instead. He came back when no one expected it, and helped save the city. Some of the stories were wrong, some added strange details. But the message stayed true. One person, even from a broken place, could stand up, speak out, and change things. Weeks passed. Logan landed on a small trade moon called Ventari. There, he helped defend a merchant village from raiders. He traveled to an old colony where water was running out and helped build a new pump using Velthurian tech. He taught young fighters not to chase glory, but to protect those who couldn't fight. Everywhere he went, people whispered his name. Not like a legend, but like someone real and still. He wore the silver pendant close to his heart. One night, he sat alone under the stars on a quiet planet. A small fire burned beside him. A young boy from the village sat nearby. "Sir," the boy asked, "is it true you won a noble's wife?" Logan laughed. "That's not exactly what happened, but the noble better." "Yes," Logan nodded. "But the real story isn't about a prize. It's about standing up for what's right. Even when you're hurt, even when you're alone, and even when no one thinks you'll win." The boy thought for a moment. "Did she smile when you won?" Looked up at the stars. "Yeah," he said softly. "She did." The boy smiled too, and somewhere, far away on Veltheris, a woman stood on a balcony, looking at the stars, a silver pendant missing from her neck, but not from her memory. And the galaxy turned quietly, remembering the human who came with nothing, and left behind everything that truly mattered.